Imagine a village with two donkeys. The first donkey is stubborn, slow, and prone to sitting down in the middle of the road. The villager beats him, shouts at him, and eventually gives up. He leaves the donkey in the shade of a baobab tree to graze in peace. The second donkey is a marvel. He is strong, tireless, and obedient. He can pull twice the weight of any other animal. Does the villager reward this donkey with extra hay? Does he give him the afternoon off to rest in the shade? No, he gives him a bigger cart. He loads the second donkey until his legs tremble and his spine bends, because the villager knows the donkey can handle it. The reward for the donkey's competence is a life of escalating agony, while the useless donkey grows fat in the sun. Welcome to your life. You are the second donkey. You are the reliable one, the one who gets things done, the one people call when the world is on fire. And you've been lied to. You've been told that your utility is your value. You've been convinced that being indispensable is a badge of honor. It isn't. It's a death sentence. In the next 15 minutes, we are going to dismantle the most dangerous myth of the modern age. The idea that you should strive to be useful. I'm going to show you why your efficiency is actually a magnet for exploitation, why your talent is a cage, and how a 2,000-year-old Chinese philosopher held the secret to a dark freedom that most people are too terrified to claim. My name is Marcus, and today we are going to learn the art of being intentionally, strategically, and beautifully useless. The world doesn't see people, it sees functions. When you look at a hammer, you don't care about the history of the steel or the tree that gave its life for the handle. You care about whether it can drive a nail. If it breaks, you don't mourn it. You throw it in the trash and buy another one. This is the instrumental view of humanity. And if you are currently the go-to person in your office, your friend group, or your family, you have successfully transformed yourself into a hammer. You've spent years refining your utility. You take pride in being the one who handles it. You've built a personal brand around being the most competent person in the room, and in doing so, you have committed the ultimate sin against your own sovereignty. You have taught people that you are a resource to be mined rather than a person to be respected. Think about the high performer at any corporation. When they finish their work 2 hours early, are they sent home to enjoy the sunlight? Are they given a bonus for their efficiency? Rarely. Instead, they are handed the overflow from the person in the next cubicle, the one who spent the morning looking at vacation rentals and struggling with a basic spreadsheet. By being fast, you have signaled to the system that you have unclaimed capacity. And a system, whether it's a multi-billion-dollar company or a parasitic friendship, abhors a vacuum. It will fill your time until you are at the breaking point, and then it will add one more task just to see where the fracture begins. This is the efficiency tax. It is a progressive tax where the more capable you are, the more labor units you are forced to pay. The useless people in your life are actually the smartest ones in the room. They have performed a silent, brilliant calculation. They have realized that the reward for a job well done is simply more work, so they choose to do a job poorly enough that they are never asked to do it again. They are protecting their time. You are auctioning yours off to the highest bidder for the low price of a good job email and a LinkedIn endorsement. The tragedy isn't just that you're being exploited, it's that your biology is paying the bill. When you become the fixer, you enter a state of chronic hyper-vigilance. Your brain's stress response system, the HPA axis, stays online 24/7. Because you are the one everyone relies on, your subconscious never feels safe enough to power down. You are constantly scanning the horizon for the next fire you'll have to put out. You aren't just doing your job, you are subconsciously managing the incompetence of everyone around you. This creates a state of decision fatigue that the average person never experiences. While the useful person is deciding how to fix 3 different problems at once, the useless person is deciding which movie to watch. Over time, this elevated cortisol doesn't just make you tired, it rewires you. It shrinks the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning and the self, and expands the amygdala, the part responsible for fear and reaction. Also, by being useful, you are physically shrinking the you that exists outside of your utility. You are literally becoming the hammer. You are losing the ability to think about your own life because your biological hardware is entirely dedicated to solving the problems of others. You are a host body for a dozen different parasites, your boss, your needy friend, your disorganized partner, and they are all feeding on your competence. They love your usefulness because it allows them to remain children. You aren't helping them. You are enabling their atrophy while accelerating your own decay. This isn't a new problem. 2,000 years ago, during the Warring States period in China, a philosopher named Chuang Tzu watched the useful people of his day get sent off to die in wars or work themselves to death for kings. He developed a philosophy that sounds like heresy in our hustle culture world. He called it the utility of uselessness. Chuang Tzu told a story of a carpenter and his apprentice who came across a massive, gnarled oak tree. The tree was so large it could shade 1,000 oxen. Its trunk was so thick 10 men couldn't encircle it. The apprentice was amazed, but the master carpenter didn't even stop to look. He said, "That tree is useless. If you make a boat from it, it will sink. If you make a coffin, it will rot. If you make a tool, it will break. It is worthless timber." Later that night, the tree appeared to the carpenter in a dream and said, "You compare me to your useful trees, the fruit trees, the timber trees. But because they are useful, they are stripped of their fruit. Their branches are broken, and they are cut down in their prime. Their utility is their undoing. I have spent a long time seeking to be useless. Now that I have achieved it, I have grown to be a giant. If I had been of any use, would I have ever grown this large?" The useful trees in the forest are turned into furniture. They are dead things that serve a living master. The useless tree is the only one that gets to keep its life. In Taoism, this is known as Pu, the uncut block. It is the state of pure potential before a carpenter gets his hands on it. Once you are cut into a shape, once you are defined as a coder, a manager, or a fixer, you have lost your infinity. You have been reduced to a function. Being useful is the process of being cut down and turned into a table for someone else to eat off of. We have established that the system is exploiting you. We have established that your biology is rotting because of it. But now, we have to address the most uncomfortable truth of all. You like it. Deep down, in the parts of your psyche you don't show to your coworkers or post on LinkedIn, you are addicted to the useful label. This is the narcissism of being needed. Most people are terrified of being useless because in their minds, uselessness is synonymous with invisibility. If you aren't fixing something, if you aren't solving a crisis, if you aren't the one everyone is looking to for the answer, then who are you? For the high performer, utility is a shield against existential dread. As long as your inbox is full, you don't have to face the emptiness of your own identity. You use your indispensability as a proxy for a soul. You've replaced self-worth with service worth. Think about the rush of dopamine you get when someone says, "I don't know what we'd do without you." That isn't a compliment. It's a confession of dependency. They are telling you that they have successfully offloaded their responsibility onto your shoulders, and you are smiling while you carry it. You are literally being thanked for being a high-quality tool. This is the white knight complex of the modern worker. You save the day so you can feel superior to the people who couldn't. You complain about the overflow and the burnout, but you secretly feed on the chaos because it proves you are the protagonist of the office. You've traded your freedom for the cheap high of being the only one who can. But here is the reality check. The graveyard is full of indispensable people. The company you are killing yourself for will have your job posting live before your obituary is printed. The friends who can't live without you will find a new fixer the moment you stop answering the phone. Your utility hasn't made you immortal, it has made you a commodity. And the price of a commodity always drops once the market is saturated. You are currently oversupplying the market with your effort. You have made your excellence so common that it is no longer valued. It is expected. You are like the air in the room, essential but ignored until it's gone. If you want to reclaim your life, you have to kill the part of you that needs to be needed. You have to become comfortable with the idea that the world can and will move on without your intervention. You have to embrace the dignity of the void. Because until you are willing to be nothing to the system, you will never be everything to yourself. So, how do you stop being the donkey without being sent to the slaughterhouse? The answer isn't a loud rebellion. It isn't a dramatic resignation letter or a screaming match with your boss. Those are high-energy moves, and the goal here is energy preservation. The answer is a silent, surgical strike known as strategic incompetence. Strategic incompetence is the art of being just bad enough at the things you don't want to do, so that you are never trusted to do them again. It is a deliberate, controlled failure designed to lower the expectation bar until you are no longer a viable target for the efficiency tax. Think about the office printer. The useful person knows how to fix the paper jam, how to reset the IP address, and how to replace the toner. Consequently, every time the printer coughs, the useful person loses 15 minutes of their life solving a problem they don't own. The strategically incompetent person stands in front of the printer, stares at the screen with a look of genuine, mild confusion, and presses a random button on it until the machine makes a beep. Then they sigh, look at their coworker and say, "I just can't seem to get this thing to work. I'm clearly not a tech person." They aren't fired for not knowing how to fix a printer. It's not in their job description, but they have successfully incompetence-proofed their afternoon. By failing early and failing visibly at low-stakes tasks, they have forced the system to look for a different host. They have protected their time by appearing to be a bad investment for that specific labor. This is the 80-20 rule of uselessness. 80% of your stress comes from 20% of the tasks that aren't actually your responsibility. Strategic incompetence is about identifying that 20% and becoming a clumsy child in those specific arenas. But be careful. There is a hierarchy to this. You don't fail at your core value, the thing that actually pays your bills and keeps the lights on. You fail at the periphery. You fail at the favors. You fail at the quick questions. You fail at the committee meetings that just need a few minutes of your time. You must learn to say, "I'd love to help, but I'm honestly so bad at task X that I'd probably just make it worse for you." This is a brutal linguistic trick. You aren't saying no, which creates conflict. You are saying, "I'm not capable," which creates pity. And in the corporate world, pity is a much more effective shield than anger. When you are pitied for your inability to handle overflow work, you are left alone. You must stop being the fixer and start being the specialist. A specialist does one thing exceptionally well and is useless at everything else. A brain surgeon doesn't mop the floor, and no one calls him lazy for it. He has defined his utility so narrowly that he is protected from the mundane. Narrow your utility until it is a needle, not a blanket. A blanket covers everything and gets stepped on. A needle is small, sharp, and only used for one specific purpose. What happens when you finally stop being useful? The world doesn't end. The sky doesn't fall. The people who claim they couldn't live without you simply find another donkey to pull their cart. And in that moment of being forgotten, you find something that most people go to their graves without ever tasting. The dark freedom. This is the freedom of the useless tree. It is the freedom to exist without an ROI. We live in a culture that has commodified our very souls. If you have a hobby, you're told to monetize it. If you have a weekend, you're told to optimize it. If you have a thought, you're told to post it. We have become so obsessed with being productive that we've forgotten how to simply be. But remember the ship of Theseus. Every 7 years you are a new person. Every cell is replaced. Every atom is cycled out. If you spend those 7 years being a tool, you aren't just wasting time. You are literally building a body made of labor. You are growing bones out of spreadsheets and a heart out of to-do lists. When you reclaim your uselessness, you reclaim your biology. You allow your new cells to grow in the service of nothing. In Zen philosophy, there is a concept called Wu Wei, non-doing. It isn't laziness. It is the realization that the grass doesn't try to grow. It just grows. The stars don't try to shine. They just shine. Only humans have the arrogance to believe that every second of our existence must be justified by a result. The dark freedom is the courage to sit in a room and do absolutely nothing, to read a book that won't make you better at your job, to walk a path that leads nowhere, to be a failure in the eyes of a broken system so that you can be a success in the eyes of your own soul. You only have 4,000 weeks. You've already spent thousands of them being useful to people who don't know your middle name. You have auctioned off the prime of your life to build monuments for masters who will replace you in a heartbeat. Stop. Stop being the fixer. Stop being the reliable one. Stop being the hammer. The next time someone asks for your utility, look them in the eye and remember the useless tree. Remember that the reward for the donkey's competence was a bigger cart, and then, with the cold, deadpan clarity of a man who has finally woken up, fail. Be incompetent. Be unavailable. Be useless. Because the only thing you owe this world is the person you were before the world told you who to be.